Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz Podcast, presented by Dave Purdy with Supreme Lending. For your mortgage solutions, call Dave today at 816-405-5831, 816-405-5831. After all, he's pretty good. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
We are back in the Chiefs Blitz, and yes, there are only three guys in a bar today playing the role of Nick Athan. Once again, I'm Lou Montagna. I've got our producer, Hense Todd, and one of those boxes on top of me, and the other one is the coach, Andre Tillman. But first, let's thank the guy that makes this all possible. From Supreme Lending, our guy, Dave Purdy. You're looking for a mortgage. You're looking for a self-scout of your existing mortgage. Dave is your guy. You can call him at 816-405-5831. His NMLS number is 7496. Supreme Lending. And you know why we really, really like Dave, guys? Because he's pretty good. Let's go, Dave. Thanks for being our number one sponsor. So, guys, let's talk about Patrick's underwear. I'm sure it's at the top of everyone's list. It's exactly why people are tuning into this fine program on the YouTube machine. So Patrick goes on the Manning cast for the Monday night game, which was awesome. I mean, I typically watch the Manning cast anyway because I think I learn more when I hear from two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and it's kind of funny too. They're always poking fun at each other, have great guests. But anyway, it comes around the topic where maybe Patrick has superstitions, and it turns out that maybe there's a particular pair of underwear that he likes to wear. I don't know. I mean, is this do you think that's the pair? TMZ Todd has it, of course. Check it out.
I don't think so, man. I think he said he liked to wear some red underwear on a Peyton Manning show to winning streaks to keep his streak going of him winning and stuff like that. I probably saying it wrong, but yeah. I was just wondering, do anybody have superstition like that? Do you have something of that that you do before the game, or you do before you start your day or whatever, that your routine is? You got to have it before you start your day or start a game or watch a game or anything like that.
Coach, well, I know. Well, I know.
These, I'm guessing
you know I do, and you know I do. Especially to my main man Bowtie over here, which I did watch the game with this young man, and I don't know if y'all heard me. When I was over, the man kicked me off the couch. It was like, nah, bro, you bringing bad spirits over here. I'm like, what is this man talking about? Man, he said, Dre, watch out, man. You're on my pillows, man. Watch out. I said, I'm like, man, what kind of mess? But me personally, I don't watch highlights. I don't watch reviews of my team before the game. I just tune that out. I don't watch none of that. I want to keep my mind focused and ready for Sunday. I don't watch none of the analysts, particular to my team. I sit back and I'm like tunnel vision. When the game comes on, that's what I watch. So that's my superstition. I don't watch no reviews and no people, well, this score is going. I hate prediction scores. I hate it. So I don't watch that. I just watch the game, and that's
shut out the noise. Focus on the task at hand.
That's right.
I like it. And spoken like a true coach. Okay, so we'll go behind the curtain a little bit. I would say the only one really, and again, this is probably really weird, but typically if the Chiefs are at home or they happen to be wearing red that day, I will wear some sort of red Chiefs shirt. I don't have any jerseys. That's the other thing. In my mind, jerseys are just for players, right? But I'll have like the hoodie or the long sleeve tee, whatever it happens to be. I'll wear red, and then on the road, it's either something gray or something black. But it always has to have some sort of arrowhead or something on it. So that's my little superstition.
So he said he wash them sometimes, but I think he was just joking to make it, make it interesting.
It is the man. It is the Manning cast, and it wasn't like some sort of hard hitting and it was pretty funny segment.
Hey, he ain't making fun. Nah, he was serious. He don't wash his underwear. He keep the same brown supply in his drawers because it gives him motivation. They itch. It gives him the motivation.
It'll give him that. It'll certainly give him that itch if he's not washing them. That's for sure. But maybe when he was single, I'm getting his wife's not going to let him do that. So yeah, whatever. All right. So now we're off the hard hitting news right now. But right now, one of our favorites on this show, and contract season for him. Playing lights out. Number 38, L'Jarius Sneed has a crazy streak going right now. I think it was to bring up the graphic there. It's 322 consecutive snaps without allowing a TD this season, which is just ridiculous. I don't know how they measure that. I don't know if they know the calls, when he's in coverage. I don't care. He is playing lights out. It is the contract year is undefeated. I hope he gets his deal here with the Chiefs. Certainly want to see him back, but that's, in this day and age of the NFL with, how receivers are just putting up productive numbers week in, week out. That's pretty remarkable. And we love LJ.
You know what, to me, that's your guy.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I have the honor.
You have the floor.
Amazing.
The floor is yours.
Okay, Wilson, I have the floor. No, Sneed is becoming one of my favorite corners. He's becoming one of my favorite corners. The physicality at the line. You don't see that no more. Sneed's going to hit you in your face. I didn't see this man bring players' morale down. He does this, man, like he sets the tone for the secondary. He sets the tone for the, like, if you watch all of his games, every last game, he's going to punch you in your face. He's gonna punch in your face. He's gonna make you think, like, okay, the Chiefs are for real. Like, he's a tone setter. Some people will say Chris Jones is a tone setter, tone setter, right? It's Sneed. Sneed sets the tone. So, man, like what you said. Like, if you look in the stats, though, that's impressive without a TD.
Right.
I mean, credit to the calls. They'll say, it's a lot of calls been thrown at Sneed. I don't care. I love the physicality. But Sneed is him, man. Sneed is him. I think the Chiefs should keep him. I do believe Kansas City should keep Sneed. I really do.
I think everybody agrees with you there.
Yeah,
and again, it's going to come down to the money. It always does. They say it's not about the money, but it's about the money. And if he's looking for top of market, I think they can get him close, but I don't think they'll make him the top paid cornerback in the league, although he probably deserves it. And I guess the other part about his game is that he is so versatile, whether it's man, whether it's zone, he comes up and stuffs the run if you need him to. He is an amazing blitzer off the edge. I mean, between he and McDuffie, those are the two best chess pieces that Spags has. So, I mean, he deserves every penny he gets, but just from an economic standpoint, they may not be able to go to where he wants to be. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. But I got to tell you, is if they weren't sure about him before this season, they certainly know that he is him.
I'm going to say this. Go ahead, sir.
I think he is him, man. Like, looking at the coverage, looking at all the coverage snaps he had without allowing a TD. This guy's been playing lights out football at the position. He's more of an old school physical corner. Gets in your face, put the hands on. You see what he did to Jefferson. One of the top receivers is in the league, and he locks the man down. I feel like this guy was a steal in the draft in the 4th round. And who's seen a safety coming out of college transferring into a corner, being one of the top of the this year. This guy took on the game, and he's putting the team on his back. He's like Lou said, he's a amazing blitzer. He's amazing blitzer. He's amazing a cover guy too. But letting him go, and like Lou said, is his contract clear? I won't do it. But is he going to play his way out of the Kansas City by having more money thrown at him? Maybe that would happen.
I'm gonna say real quick. Kareem just stated real quick. What up, Kareem? The way Veach drafts corners, I don't think Snead is back. Unfortunately, to me, the 1-2 punch from McDuffie, I don't want them to even mess that chemistry up with what they have, man. Because in my opinion, right, in Coach Dre's opinion, I'm gonna say this: you can replace Chris. I know people might not agree with me. You can replace Chris Jones. The way the rotation is right now, we have a good plethora of rotational guys in that front that you can rotate and get pressure. We've seen it this season. With these two, with Snead and McDuffie, you have a tone setter, and the man's going to finish. McDuffie is going to finish. I went back and watched his college film again. I said, he's been like this since college. He's aggressive. He had this dog in him, man. The man, to me, both of them together, man, it's like pit bulls. They lock on to you, and I feel like, why mess that up? Why mess that up? Because that back end is solid. To me, if it comes down to it, keep Snead. I know, Lou.
That's what it is. I hate to keep saying that. Yeah, I think everything we're saying is probably is echoing in Veach's office, and he's probably the first one to say, yeah. I mean, we want to reward the guys that we draft. The unfortunate thing is, once you pay, Patrick and Chris Jones to some degree, but if you, as Nick and whatever his sources are telling them, if they're going to go all in to try and sign T. Higgins in the offseason, then you're probably not going to see L'Jarius get the deal that he deserves from the Chiefs, for sure. So that's what they have to weigh. I mean, if this is going to be a defensive team with an elite quarterback, in other words, they start change the way they play a little bit, then you pay that guy and say, we've got the back end covered for the next 4 or 5 years. Okay. Right. And we're not going to overpay for a number one receiver at whatever, 28 to 32 million a year. Do we need, is there that big of a difference from maybe Rashee Rice's development or one of these other guys to what T. Higgins will give you? But the money is like 10 times as much. Right. That's, those are the tough decisions to make. We don't get paid to make those. We can sit here and say, yeah, you got to pay this guy, you got to pay that. And I get it. And I would do it too. But again, at those levels, you really have to, and then you have to be right. Because if T. Higgins comes in, this is like typically where the biggest mistakes have been made, I think, in free agency is when you take someone else's number 2 receiver and plug them in as your number 1. Now, T. Higgins is a different guy. He absolutely, I think, can be a number 1 receiver. We still don't know for sure. And now he's injured again. So there's that part of it too. Do you want to, you didn't pay Tyreek when you had the best one in the league. Are you going to overpay now? Which that's why, in all due respect to Nick's sources, I don't believe it. I don't believe for a second that Veach is going to open up the vault for a wide receiver. It's just not happening. So,
all right, real quick,
in my opinion,
I got you. Got no doubt. Real quick, Shelly says, Miss Shelly Amarato said, if I say her name right, she said, we love Chris Jones. And I get that, guys. A lot of people say they want to keep Chris Jones. And I love
Chris Jones.
No, I mean, a plethora of Kingdom people love Chris Jones, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
I'm pretty sure they all do. I mean,
they all do, through circumstances of this year and all that nonsense. I get that. But for me, it's this. From what I'm seeing on film and the impact that Snead is making, I would put the chips all in on Snead because, again, that rotation we have on the defensive line is all I need to see this year. That's all I need to see. They get pressure from everywhere now. Donald stepping up, right? Donald stepping up, right? You got the cat from San Francisco, right? You got George Kalafis stepping up. You got a plethora of guys that's in rotation that can get pressure. Like everything's intact.
Now
like,
those guys are ends, and Chris at his best is a tackle.
He can't shoot. He can't fit it. But then again,
the other question is this: does the presence of 95 has that elevated the other guys where now they are stepping up because of what he draws in the middle and what he commands when he moves outside? You know, the extra block or the extra singling up the other guys, whether you said like Omenahu or Karlaftis or Dana or whoever it happens to be, they have that advantage. Now, if you take Chris out of the equation, now maybe George is getting doubled or one of these other guys might be getting doubled and they may not be as effective. So I think that's the part where you really have to weigh. And again, it's going to come down to the money. At his age, I don't see Veach going more than 2 or 3 years on Chris Jones. And is that going to be acceptable to Chris and his agent? Probably not.
Yeah. Again, I get that part too, but from what I've seen all season, all these guys begin pressure on on the quarterback. Every last guy on the defense line get pressure. And remember, that's all I wanted to see. Can these guys step up? And sometimes Chris Jones ain't even in rotation. Sometimes it's just that 4. And again, in the back end sold up. So honestly, for real, if you look at it, if it happens to where Chris Jones does leave, I'm just hypothetical. If he does leave, I wouldn't even break a sweat because I know in the draft you can still find a diamond in the draft. And with Specs defense right now, it's a beautiful situation to come into because all these guys is bought in, and I'm pretty sure that any guy they bring in from the draft will fit right on into what Specs like to do.
Right, and the other top of market at corner is a lot less than top of market of a defensive lineman slash pass rusher. So,
true. So let's get into the next sponsor before we move into the second.
Bring up Eric. Let's go. He might be my favorite sponsor because he sponsors Chiefs Who, but that's again I'm being a little selfish here. But your real estate advisor in Kansas City, eSellsKC@gmail.com. That's the one and only Eric Haynes. Look at that handsome young man. Of course you'd want him representing you. Call Eric at 816-729-3785. For any real estate needs, whether you're buying or selling. SunWest Real Estate Advisors. Once again, it's Eric Haynes, 816-729-3785. Thank you very much, Eric.
Okay.
Yes.
So speaking into the next subject, man, the Bills are on their way not making the playoffs. What you guys think about that coordinator getting fired? Is it the offense that's not running the right schemes, or is it Josh Allen and offense dropping balls and fumbling the ball and everything else? Because I don't believe that the coordinator was the fault of this. What you guys think about it?
Well, there's going to be a fall guy, right? And McDermott isn't going to fire himself. So I think Ken Dorsey got caught in the crosshairs here. And as I was talking to Coach off air right before we started, it seems like the Bills really haven't improved or changed anything since the 13-second game. Right? I mean, that's kind of been their peak was we almost beat the Chiefs in the divisional round. And they really haven't changed much. They thought they had a number 2 receiver in Gabe Davis, and he really is hit and miss. You saw that first interception that Josh threw Monday night. And maybe he could have taken a little bit off of it, but again, it's in Gabe's hands and he just lets it go through and it gets picked off. Interception for Josh Allen, and all the Josh Allen haters come out. Yeah, see, we told you. Now, the one that he threw at the end of at the half, now that was complete arm arrogance, if you would. He just believes in his mind that his arm can solve any problem. To answer your question, Hense, everybody's got a hand in this. The head coach, the players for sure. In terms of the coordinator, I would say that I think they need somebody that has the ability or just that, or has the respect of Josh Allen, that if he gets in his face and tells him, hey, we've gone over this, 100 times, you can't make that throw. Mm-hmm. I don't think Josh is hearing that. He hasn't heard that since Daboll left. Now, again, this is all just, of course, my opinion. I don't have any insiders, in the Buffalo locker room or, in the meeting rooms. But again, Ken Dorsey, somebody had to take the fall. Nothing has really changed. His fault. They only targeted Stephon Diggs 5 times Monday night. Yes, they did. And I believe all 5 of those were 10 yards or less from the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. That's not, you're not going to win many games doing that.
Yeah.
When they ran the ball, they were very effective. I think Cook was 12 carries, 91 yards.
Right.
Latavius Murray, 9 carries, 68 yards. He's like 50 years old. He's been around forever, but he's, they're opening holes for him. So again, there's something within the organization that's got to be off. Josh Allen needs somebody that's going to coach him hard, somebody that's going to get the best out of him. And you don't want to coach that willingness to take chances completely out of them. But in terms of situational awareness, again, at the end of the half, you're in your own end. Don't try to fit it in, into a place where there's no way you're going to get it. And at very least, if you're going to do that, throw it towards Diggs. He's throwing it at one of his younger receivers, and not that it was the receiver's fault, but there was a bunch of white jerseys just waiting for that ball. Mm-hmm. So hopefully Joe Brady can kind of get this thing going. Obviously he was the guy at LSU that helped them put up all those points with Burrow and Chase and Jefferson and Edwards-Helaire and all those, that whole crew. He gets the job in Carolina, gets fired from there. I don't know his temperament or his personality, but I'm hoping for Josh Allen's sake that this guy will coach him hard. Josh will take to coaching, and that they will kind of get this thing rolling again and figure out what they can do offensively, because right now they have no identity. It's Josh, take the snap and make something happen. That's what it looks like to me.
It's kind of like college football, because that's how college football is. You the star quarterback, you a playmaker, you go out there and you do that. The ball's in your hands, all right? Just go off instincts, go out there and play ball, do what you feel. If you feel like that man deserves the ball, throw him the ball. That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like to me, right? But Lou, as you stated, Cook did have 12 carries for 109 yards. He did, and he was very productive on the ground. The ground game was working, right? So, okay, he got a good ground game. Now, as you stated, Diggs only had 5 targets, right? I think him and the plethora of other receivers had 5 targets. Even what's the tight end name?
Dalton Kincaid.
I'm about to call that man.
He scored the touchdown. We talked about him a little bit on Monday and figured he would be the second guy. But the targets for Diggs, they got to get him down the field.
And the man had 34 yards, right? 34 yards. That's all he had. And Diggs is a legit playmaker.
Or are they just Patrick Surtain locking him down?
Nah, Patrick Surtain is legit.
That was certainly part of it, but he really wasn't. Again, he wasn't running many routes downfield. But doesn't this all sound a little familiar?
Yes, it does,
doesn't it? The difference is Andy and the Chiefs have the pelts on the wall, and they get the benefit of the doubt for figuring it out as the season goes on. Because trust me, if this was the other way around, and the Chiefs were kind of going through this whole thing with the wide receivers and they hadn't won yet, they'd be calling for heads, right? The fans, everybody else would be saying, what the hell are we doing? We got the best quarterback in the league. He's not doing this. So there's a fine line there. But he does have the pelts on the wall. And Buffalo, again, their pelt on the wall is, hey, we almost beat the Chiefs in the divisional round a couple of years ago. We're on our way. And they haven't changed. It's the same thing.
Right.
Except
Same
not
turnover.
except worse. Right.
Can we just say Josh Allen he just turned over the ball. He just turned over the ball.
Yeah, too many turnovers. But like I said,
Mhm.
the one he threw was, again, it was off the receiver's hand. Could he have thrown it a little less RPMs? Maybe.
Mhm.
But professional wide receiver, that's your ball. That's a catch. You're open, you catch that ball. The second one was just, he was just like, I can fit it in there, and it's just ridiculous. You can't do that. Then on the fumble, that's got to be on him too. He kind of, it's his responsibility to really stick it in there to the running back, and maybe he thought he was pulling it on a zone read, balls out.
Right.
So way too many turnovers. So too fast and loose with the ball. But So
I'm gonna say this, Lou. What happens is this. I think Josh Allen overthinks himself down the stretch.
Mhm.
He doesn't have the capability to calm down, because when you're clutch, when you got ice in your veins, you're calming down, you're checking the ball down, you understanding what you're dealing with. Diggs been pissed off for the last 2 years of Josh Allen. He's been upset because he knows, like, if y'all know, the Diggs always been open. Diggs is probably one of the best young wide receivers in the game right now. And you can trust Diggs. But at the same time, Diggs is wondering every year, can I trust Josh Allen? Can I trust Josh Allen? And to be honest with you guys, I don't think he trusts Josh Allen anymore. I don't think he has the trust for him no more. The chemistry is off.
That's hard. That's hard to say.
You lose to the Chiefs and you lose to the Bengals. Right now, my thing, okay, you there, but you lose in the big games to where it could catapult you over the top and get you over the hump. But every time you get the opportunity, you fail.
Right.
There's two ways to go.
Okay.
And you can go the Antonio Brown route and just go nuclear and just say, I got to, you got to get me out of here. You got to, or, you kind of get together with your guys and you figure it out. Don't go public. I know he doesn't have any control over his brother's Twitter, but that doesn't help. When Trayvon's tweeting, 14's got to get up on out of there.
Right.
When it seemed like it was the same thing in Minnesota. Now, obviously, he didn't have the same, or the team didn't have the same expectations when he was in Minnesota, but he got out of there. Now, if he's going to get out of there again, somebody's going to pay him, but watch out, because if it starts to go sideways, or we're not winning right away, or he's not getting the ball enough right away, he's going to want to get out of there. So, I mean, I hear you,
point.
And that may be the case, but at a certain point, you just have to say, okay, I signed my contract. They're paying me to be a professional here. What can I do better to make this thing go, rather than say, well, it's not working, I'm out. I mean, that's just, that's not a winning player.
That's the diva. That's a
That's a stat grabber. That's James Harden. That's Russ Westbrook. I mean, these are guys that'll put up numbers, but they're never going to win anything, because their attitude is, I'm just building stats, and if we win, now again, I'm sure he wants to win, but it's a team, and especially in football, you need all 11 on the same page, or you got no shot.
Right. That's right. So, speaking of other news, we have Deshaun Watson going to be out for the rest of the NFL. Rest of the season with an injury. But this is leading up to, like, all the top teams that you thought that's going to be there is just falling apart. The Bills, the Bengals, the Cleveland Browns have a good defense, but their quarterback can't stay healthy. What you guys think about this?
I think about Deshaun Watson being done for the season. That's going to hurt the Browns. It's going to hurt the Browns because the Browns was right behind Baltimore in the North. A lot of people had them over Joe Burrow and them now. But since Watson's gone, you got to put Joe Burrow up to now. Now it's a talk between Lamar and Burrow now. So big loss for the Cleveland Browns, because the defense is playing incredible, and your defense can only do so much. So That's a big loss for Cleveland right now.
The AFC is no joke. And now with these injuries, certainly, it's going to make things a little bit different. Now we'll see. I mean, Thursday night, tomorrow night, as we record here on Wednesday, Cincinnati's at Baltimore.
Right.
So now this becomes I don't know if it becomes a bigger game because Cincinnati's kind of like on the brink. They've got, I believe, 4 losses now. They don't want to have 5 losses at this point of the season. Baltimore coming off the loss to Cleveland. Deshaun played an amazing second half. I mean, based on what he's done last season and this season, that was probably his best half of football. And you could tell he was a little gimpy going into halftime. He kind of missed the last play because he was in getting his ankle taped. And then, the shoulders have been bothering him, seems like the whole season. And now it's even worse. Surgery, out for the year. Is the defense and PJ Walker going to be enough to stay up there? I don't know. Somehow Kenny Pickett's doing it with the Steelers. So I got to believe the Browns may not have, I guess, an arguably elite player playing quarterback. But again, if the defense keeps playing well and PJ Walker, who has, he's never good. I don't think he's a guy that's going to lose you many games. He may not win a lot of, be the reason they win the game, but I don't think he's going to be the guy that's the reason they lose. So I think the Browns, as long as they're healthy on defense, they're still going to be, I still think they're going to be in this because, again, Pittsburgh, you never know. And they play each other this weekend. So this is a big weekend for the AFC North because both games they're playing divisional opponents. So it'll go a long way, as far as that part. And then, the other divisions, again, who saw CJ Stroud coming on? Who saw Houston being one of those teams up there? So it should be, it's going to be a great stretch run for sure. But yeah, that just sucks for the Browns because it seemed like Deshaun was finally, kind of coming along and kind of getting back to who he is. And now an injury, and it's like, what the hell? I mean, that just looks like such a horrible investment right now.
Right. All the money they got tied into him, then he just can't stay on the field. So speaking on what's going to be happening on the field, we have the Chiefs going to be, coming off the bye, and they're going to be playing the Eagles. We're going to touch more about that on that game. But what you looking forward to see what's going to happen in this game? The Chiefs coming off the bye. Both of the teams coming off a bye this Monday night, this Monday coming up. What do you guys think? What are you looking for to come out this game?
Honestly, they both even. I'm looking for a great game. The battle in the trenches. And remember, AJ Brown is their target. He's their target. I'm looking for Snead to get physical with him. That's the match I'm looking for. If they can lower him and keep him at bay, the Chiefs have a chance, really does have a chance to beat the Eagles, stomping the Eagles, stomping the Eagles, because once you take out A.J. Brown, okay, Smith is okay, but Duffy going to be holding him, and we know how Duffy gets down. You take away these two guys, right? Where else, what Hurt going to do, right? Because if you take out both of your wide receivers, okay, you got a good running game, right? But the Chiefs is pretty decent against the run, right? Take out them, make them one-dimensional. Chiefs win the game.
Yeah. Well, you got to pick. You kind of pick your poison, and I'm sure they would much rather see Jalen Hurts try to beat them with his arm rather than running the ball, because that means that's that much more time time of possession that they have, and that's less time with 15 having the ball in his hands. What I'm really interested in seeing coming out of the bye, what kind of, if any, adjustments they make to the wide receiver core.
Right.
Are they going to maybe lean into a little bit more of the running game with Pacheco and perhaps Pirine or whoever comes up, from the practice squad? If they try Deneric Prince, I don't know. We'll see. And I'm not saying that that's the way to go, but whoever comes up, are they going to try to get to at least 20 to 22 carries? Because again, we've said this so many times where the Chiefs are undefeated. Pacheco carries the ball 15 times, they're winning the game, right?
Right.
So it is a trench game too, because if they can block the down 4, if the Chiefs can block the Eagles down 4, it could be a big game for Patrick, because the Eagles have shown that their back end can be had.
I was just about to say that. I was
You
just
saw
about to
you
elaborate
saw you
on
saw
that.
you saw with Lamb and Lamb and
They were just eating out there. They were just eating that wheel.
The tight end, which name escapes me right now. He's on my fantasy team. He was a rookie last year. He went to Wisconsin. He's number 87. I can't think of his name, but anyway, that guy, he ate pretty much against the Eagles as well. We'll see Brandon Cooks a little bit. Gallup got loose. So, and Dak just had a huge game. Now, they couldn't close the door. They couldn't, Dak stepped out of bounds by about that much, on a play. They missed a 2-point conversion. They had the guy stopped this far from the goal line. So the Eagles have shown that they can be had, but you got to block that down 4.
I'm gonna give you a stat real quick, and it doesn't make sense to me. How is it that you have a good pass rush, but your back end is sorry, right? Your back end is so underachieving right now, but your front 4 is very respected. It doesn't make sense.
A lot of injuries.
True, but listen though,
and they lost CJ Gardner-Johnson.
They did. Look what the Chiefs have though. Front end, good rotation, good pressure, and the back end is eating. It doesn't make sense to me how dominant you're up front.
There's two completely different. Well, I mean, they're two completely different situations. I think they're down 4, and their rushers, I think, are when you throw Reddick, right? Jalen Carter, Cox, all these guys, any one of them can wreck the game.
Yes,
whereas
they can.
With the Chiefs, I think it's pretty much Chris Jones. You mentioned the other guys have stepped up and they're better, but I don't think they can wreck the game.
Like Chris Jones, or force like Chris Jones.
Exactly. So that's why I say if they can block them up. Now, their DBs, for some reason, you still got Darius Slay, right? Mm-hmm. You bring in Byard from Tennessee to be the safety, kind of be the quarterback. So I think as they work those guys in, but that's it. I mean, everybody else is either injured or they lost in free agency. So they are giving up a lot of big plays. So again, they got to block. I can't stress this enough. Maybe it's a game where 79 and 74 have to step up and maybe not have great games, but don't be the reason that Patrick is like running for his life.
That's a good point. The tackles, if the tackles can stay at bay and play a little bit better, then we can see the Chiefs winning the game, kind of edging the game out. But
I don't know about edging the game out. I think they can. I mean, I don't look at it as like the Eagles, like this super team, and the Chiefs, like it's like this underdog situation. I think the Chiefs can beat them any day of the week. I believe, right?
We know
it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying. That's going to be a big part of why the Chiefs win the game.
They certainly have plenty to get it done, and playing at home. Now, I get it. Both teams are coming off a bye, but
no slick field this game.
Exactly, and I don't think Hurts still isn't quite 100%. He's not running the way he has in the past. You saw, the last 2 games where when he does run, now he's getting down a little bit quicker. When he gets up, he's kind of limping back to the huddle. So
the Chiefs are going to zone blitz Hurts.
I
see it.
Maybe there's a little bit. Well, they're going to do everything they normally do, right? I think Spags is going to bring people from all different places. A lot of in vogue in the league now is these simulated pressures where they're kind of showing one thing and backing into another, and just kind of the chess game. And hopefully, whatever he does, we're getting to Hurts before he can get the ball downfield to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. So, and then Julio Jones, he's the third guy. Maybe he makes some plays. If the corners do shut the top 2 guys down.
We supposed to say something for Friday, but y'all kept digging in.
Well, hey, once you get rolling here,
once the blood flowing, man, we gotta take advantage of it.
You crack that beer. You crack that beer open. You got to drink the whole thing. Hense. Come on, man.
But if y'all want to hear more about the Eagles and the Chiefs upcoming game, we're having more on Friday. But we got to get into the page sponsor section for what Chiefs Who you have for us today, Lou, and let's get it on the road. What you want to do?
All right, let's bring up our guy. He's a sponsor of our segment, and that is Eric Haynes Real Estate, 816-729-3785, buying, selling in Kansas City. He sells KC at gmail.com. So Eric Haynes, thank you very much. So in the fastest growing game on YouTube TV, here we go. Chiefs Who, you love it, you know it. Let's play. All right. This chief is far better known by his nickname than his given name. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He spurned Ohio State, Alabama, and others to play at home.
Isaiah Pacheco.
No. He was second team all conference as a freshman, first team all conference as a senior. And his time in school was a rocky time. He also
Kareem says Clyde.
No. He also has a current streak in the NFL, which is the longest.
Patrick Mahomes?
No. He has a podcast that he does with his college quarterback.
Oh, Trey Smith.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. Trey Smith. It's
Mr. Trey Smith
podcast.
Yeah.
He does a podcast with Josh Dobbs, the Pastronaut. It's called Torchbearers. Not that we would ever send you away from our show, but if you did want to listen to a Chief speaking week to week, it is our own Trey Smith.
Yeah,
his given name is Henry Lewis Smith. It was a 5-star recruit. I mean, he was all everything. The only reason he slipped to the 6th round was a blood clot issue that he had at Tennessee, and a lot of teams didn't clear him physically. Chiefs scooped him up in the 6th round. His current streak is 381 consecutive snaps without a sack given up. And that was it. That was my last clue, was the podcast thing. I think
Kareem had something to say. He said I was one of the first ones to say it, but the thing to pop up quick enough. He said Smith. He did say Smith. You know,
Kareem, we know you as a man of honor, so we do believe you. We will forward you the prize. Hence, you'll have to hand it to him.
But I would say I'm 0-2. It'll be 2-0 here so far. You know, I got 2 right.
Well, we've done 9 of them, so that's.
If you want to split the gold, then you know what I'm saying. I get it. You want to give a percentage.
Yeah, don't hurt your arm there, patting yourself on the back. But that's good. That's right. He's got 2. I think he's the first of the hosts that has 2.
So let's before we close out, Dre, go ahead and give a shout out to all the guys that's been watching and
all the guys and ladies.
Kareem was the 4th guy today. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he was. Shout out to, of course, Kareem, right? I give him that shout out to Shelly. Shelly was on the show. How you doing, Shelly? Dylan Humphreys was on the show too. He was like, "Where's Nick at?" He said, "Where's Nick?" Well, Nick is in the background taking care of business, young man. And, of course, again, appreciate the love, guys, and keep it coming.
All right, Luke, go ahead and give us a shout out to the sponsors before we.
All right, our number 1 guy that came in, the early investor. He's our guy, Dave Purdy from Supreme Lending. You're looking for a mortgage, looking for the self-check or self-scout or mortgage analysis, Dave is your guy. You can reach him at 816-405-5831. You can email him at dave.purdy@supremelending.com. NMLS number 7496. We love Dave because he is
Pretty
good. All right, Dave. Thank you very much. And our other guy, the real estate guy, Eric Haynes from the Eric Haynes Group, esellskc@gmail.com. You can reach him on the phone at 816-729-3785. Real estate advisor, Supreme, the Eric Haynes Group, the SunWest Real Estate Advising Group. Eric Haynes, once again, the sponsor for Chiefs Who. 816-729-3785.
Okay.
On the ones
So we want to let everybody know we appreciate all the comments and we appreciate all the love. We thank you guys for sharing. We also thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy day to come out here.
A lot of choices out there.
Yeah,
Thanks
and you
for making us part of your day.
You come in and watching with us, and also Nick will be back Friday. So again, we'll see you guys Friday. We will rehash around the NFL. And we also rehash the upcoming game with Kansas City Chiefs. And we go be live on Monday before the game, like our regular show time, because it's going to be a Monday night home game for the Kansas City Chiefs. So with that said, guys, I'd like to go on to close out. And guys, thank you guys for tuning in and continue to watch and share. Have a great day.
Subscribe. Peace.
That's right.